Welcome. In front of me I have the BIGME HiBreak Pro, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. So let's get straight into this. This is, as far as I can tell, an e-ink device, which, if you're thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about, it's because I have never seen this device on my life. So there we go. It seems like I was correct. But anyway, getting in here, we have the e-ink phone. Let's boot it up. It comes with a pre-applied case. Oh, sorry for cutting it out. There we go. So it's booting up right now. Now inside we also have a bit of an instruction. I'm pretty sure we all know how to use a phone. Then we got the cable. And the cable is type A to type C. No surprise there. And we have our SIM ejector. Pretty long one too. That's what she said. Oh, okay, that's maybe problematic. Can I change the language? English, there we go. So, English or not English? Come on. Ah, there we go. Now let's take this off. I'm curious how this device looks like without it. So, apparently I need to connect to network, which, you know, I mean, I'm gonna do this as I have no clue about this device, so I do want to see how it looks like. Oh, wait, that's not the password. Okay. So we have some information, how to use it, whatever, I don't care. Can I skip this? Yes, I can. That's good. Skip. Come on, skip. Skip, 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 skip. Hello. Oh, there we go. That was actually a pretty quick setup. So right here is our paper ink display. Now, let's see if I can open up something where I can scroll, like settings. Where settings? Am I blind? There must be settings. Oh, there we go. There it is. So you can see how it looks like when scrolling. Now there might be an option to increase the response rate of this, so let's see if I can find that. Loading bowl, no, split screen, no. Other, auto. I don't see where I can change how responsive the display is, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna close this. So let's get into the specifications. Starting off with the display obviously being a paper ink display with a resolution of 824 by 1648 pixels, which puts it at 300 pixels per inch. It also comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. And in terms of CPU powering, this is actually way of an overkill for what I'd consider this phone needing. It's a Dimensity 1080, an octa-core processor clocked at 2.4 gigahertz. Now, if you're wondering what this is, it's basically above like mid-range processors, but we're talking about like current gen mid-range processors. So these are already stupid fast enough to run normal phones that have like 120 hertz refresh rate without any kind of hiccups. Now we have a faster processor than that in here for an e-ink display. Now it seems like an overkill considering you will never be able to really utilize that processor, to be completely honest. The display is never gonna keep up with the output of the processor. So I believe they should have gone with something much slower here that would also give you a better battery life. And this device most certainly has a good battery life, considering it's running an e-ink display, and that's primarily what consumes most of the battery. Now it does have 4,500 mAh battery, so that should get you a pretty decent battery life, though BIGME doesn't have any kind of information about how long it should get you. It does mention though how fast you can charge it, which it supports 18 watts of charging. So not that great, but still, considering how long this device will most likely last you, this shouldn't be that big of a problem. Now we do have cameras on here, and these cameras are, if they are actually mentioned, pretty sure, oh there we go. The rear camera is a 20 megapixel shooter. Now it is completely flush with the body, so it doesn't protrude at all. It's the glass itself is part of the glass on the back. So let's see how that actually looks like. And boy oh boy, does it not look that great on the viewfinder. Also, I don't see any kind of oh no, wait. Okay, so there is gyroscope, as we do have this HDR flipping. It's just the text right here isn't flipping. So let's see, I'm gonna capture a photo. Did it capture? Oh yeah, it did capture it. Okay, so let's see how that looks like. Okay, and that's actually better than I expected in terms of quality. Now obviously this is a colored photo. I do want to point that out. It's just this display doesn't have color, so if you put it to your computer or something like that, obviously it will look normally. Maybe the quality won't be as good as some other devices, obviously, because it's 20 megapixel main sensor and the only one. And we do also have a selfie that is an 8 megapixel. Oh, sorry, not 8, 5, my bad. So let's close this up. We have a fingerprint button, which I presume is, yeah, it's this thing right here, the red one, that also doubles as your power button. So there we go. So yeah, this is your fingerprint sensor along with the power button. We have adjustable 36 levels of warm and cold front light. This device or display is backlit. Now I'm not sure if, yes, right now it is backlit. You can turn it off completely, so this is completely light off. Obviously this will get you better battery life if you don't use any kind of backlight right here. And we can see it looks just fine. No backlight, it's completely visible. So typical e-ink display kind of thing. So if you don't need the backlight, for instance at night where you'd probably be using it, during the daytime you can just turn it off and you'll get even better battery life. Now in terms of the price, let's see how much this device costs, and honestly it's not that bad. So it comes at about what is that, about $400 US. So for $400, if you want a portable e-ink reader phone that basically doubles as both, can take photos and all that stuff, play music, this honestly device is kind of like a jack of all trades. It might not be doing good or outstanding any of these as a phone. It's gonna feel sluggish because of that e-ink display. As a camera, it's going to be not the best. As a e-ink reader, it's going to be small, so it has drawbacks to everything. But the kind of the selling point of this is the fact that it's all in one. So all you need to do is put this in your pocket, and you probably will have this always in your pocket. Chances are the battery will last you pretty long right here. So again, not really something that you need to worry about, and you can just whip this out at any point and start reading books on the go, and not really worry about your battery just kind of draining on you just from reading books on it, as it is, again, e-ink display. We also have two buttons, which I assume are for for next and previous pages. So adds to that e-ink or e-book reader just design. And in terms of provided e-book reader, we do have a Kindle that is preloaded right here. I presume this is some kind of ebook reader as well. We have a normal app store, as this is running actual Android, which I hope it is visible from here, but it is just a bog standard Android right here, precisely Android 14 at the moment, though it could possibly have Android 15 upgrade, as this device did release some time ago, so it's not, I don't think it's like super new, so I am a bit late to the party. But all in all, it's a pretty nice device for what I would consider as a enticing price. It just, question is, are you looking for a single device to substitute several at the same time? Because if you're not looking for a phone that you can read books on and have good battery life, that has specifically e-ink display and all that stuff, you might have a better option to actually get a good phone and also get an ebook reader on the side, which will have a bigger display. For instance, any kind of Kindle usually does have a bigger display, and you can pick from plethora of ebook readers on the market. Those will all do the same job pretty well. Those will also have better battery life compared to what we have right here, as they don't need to run a not optimized Android. For the most part, most ebook readers have their own, like Kindles have their own OS, which is a bit more power efficient. This is still running Android. Android is crap when it comes down to it, when it comes down to power management. So you do have the drawback of running the crappy Google OS. Other than that, like I said, if the size obviously bothers you of this thing, and if you're looking for something that you can watch videos, that's one of the things that you won't be really doing comfortably here. Watching videos, movies, stuff like that on the go is almost a no-go. So if you're the type of person that prefers reading over watching, this device should be pretty decent for you. But if you like to do both or prefer watching videos and sometimes reading, I don't think this device will be for you, as it does do these things very poorly. So yeah, that basically sums up this phone. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.